Confession. Podcast confessions.
Confessions of Pidgeon Rex.
I mainly... Jesus. Can't talk about it.
No.
All right. So, welcome to More Space Required. Where my co-host, Tyler the Magnificent...
Bam!
God damn you.
I was trying to do it.
I was so good.
I know.
I'm starting over.
All right.
Starting over.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. Welcome to More Space Required.
Did it again. This is all usable content.
It is. Welcome to More Space Required, where my co-host, Tyler the Magnificent Misanthropic Murgle from Mayfield, and I compile our combined 71 years of useless knowledge and try to hammer it into something coherent and thoughtful.
You know you have a name, right?
No.
All right. Well, let's jettison that data trash. What do you say?
And let's talk about...
Let's talk about some Biomutant.
Let's talk about Biomutant.
All right.
So...
Thanks.
I need that, though.
All right. You take that one.
So, Biomutant is a game coming out on...
There was a game!
PC, Steam specifically, all you Epic Games haters out there, which I don't understand why. PS4, Xbox One, is it coming out for the PS5?
I mean...
Backwards compatibility, but is there a PS5 version?
No.
And is there a whatever the fuck Microsoft decided to call the new Xbox?
Is that not the S?
Xbox One is the PS4 generation. Xbox One
S is the Pro, right? Basically.
I think. What's the
What is the new one
one
called?
Clearly, who gives a shit? I think we know who won that battle.
I mean, at this table, that Game Pass thing is unsustainable, but a great idea.
It's not unsustainable. They own most of the fucking studio. They bought Bethesda.
That is true. That is true.
I think they're fine.
But I mean, they're not selling games, though, is the problem.
But they're selling the Game Pass.
Yeah, it's like $9 a month.
Yeah. They're also Microsoft.
On a
Microsoft, when they came out with
game.
the Xbox, sold it on a loss because it was just
Sony
a
does that
PR
too.
stunt.
Yeah.
Granted, Microsoft's about to lose half their money, I guess.
Well,
Bill, you shouldn't have strayed. But also...
They had an arrangement.
Hey.
To Bill or the... Not Melania. What's her name?
Melinda.
Melinda.
And I'm going with who I think I have the best chance with.
So Bill.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I also hate mosquitoes.
Well, who wouldn't? They suck you dry.
So Biomutant. This game comes out this month, May 25th, on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
You have taken time off work because it's your birthday.
It is also that.
Right around that time. And our goal is to play the game and enjoy it and have fun.
Together.
I think that's the whole podcast.
There you go.
We're good. Yeah, we're just excited about this game.
Got it.
This is actually just an announcement. We got paid by whoever the fuck makes Biomutant.
THQ Nordic is the publisher.
Who's the developer? Something Experiment 101? Oh, look at that. Yeah, all right then.
Got him.
Hold on, wait. Our producer currently is looking very concerned at our laptop that records all of our... Oh, I'm getting a thumbs up. We're good to go.
Okay.
I thought we pressed the button.
I think we pressed it twice.
I think we did press it. Well, is pressing it twice bad?
I don't know. It's your laptop.
Yeah, but I don't do IT. It is moving. All right. So we are confirmed this is recording audio.
Unless it's moving out. Whoops.
So you and I are very excited about this game.
Podcast with it. Damn it. I'm sorry, laptop.
You and I are very excited about this game.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be good.
We are excited about it in different ways, I guess, or we've gone about handling our excitement in different ways.
Yeah. No, I definitely splurged on it today.
You go about positioning your microphone in different ways as well.
I do.
You could just angle the microphone to where you are. You just move.
I'm going to be moving.
The mic. You got to
move it.
I'm
a shaker.
Hey, bud, I know that most microphones on a lot of podcasts can be in kind of different areas, and it's fine. Yeah. But we bought $7 microphones, so they really need to point directly to your face hole.
7 degrees of movement at all times. It's $1 per movement.
There are 8 degrees. I spent $15 on this arm.
Ah, that's a good point.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Do we do a dance number now?
Can we? We've got the camera angles. I'm gonna edit this part out. So
I like that part.
I know you do. That's why I'm editing it out.
That makes fair.
So you
makes fair.
It does make fair. Just like a carny, making fair.
Or a cab driver.
Or a cab
God,
driver.
You're so racist all the time.
How is carny a race?
How is it not a race? Have you seen those guys? That dude has 6 fingers. That shit's not normal.
Speaking of races.
Or breed, perhaps.
Speaking of races, there are multiple breeds and races for your character starting off.
Let me ask you this. When you say breeds in a game, does it make you feel weird?
It does.
It makes me feel weird.
It makes me feel really weird.
I don't know why.
So, Biomutant. I'm excited about it. You're excited about it, but I know very little about the game, quite purposefully.
Yeah.
Whereas
Intentionally, even.
I'm pretty sure you've actually done, or you've read and watched quite a bit about it.
I have. I've delved.
So our reasoning comes from the same, well, no, not from the same place. My reasoning for it is I was very excited, as I'm sure many people were, about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, it was a...
And I doubted nothing about it, even after delay after delay, even after Jason Schreier was like, hey guys, this is going to fucking suck. I was like, you don't know what you're talking about, guy who's always right about this. And
Listen to that guy.
So I blindly went into it because I was like, The Witcher 1 was janky, but I dug it. Witcher 2 was fucking rad and a huge step up. And The Witcher 3 is in my top 3 favorite games of all time. It's my number 1 RPG ever
Survived
made.
the test, too.
Absolutely amazing.
Uptime.
What test?
Uptime.
Uptime?
Of time? Uptime's a great energy drink,
Uptime.
though.
Okay.
It's like an Adderall in a can. What was I going to say
I
about
like
that?
to make my coffee with Red Bull instead of water.
It's an interesting idea. They somebody just released a super modded up version of Witcher 3 too, with like ray tracing and
Yeah,
HD
it's super. I downloaded the mod. It's super.
Yeah.
I'm replaying Witcher 3 right now.
Yeah.
So I was super excited about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
And I got the game.
You know what I remember most about this when I think back on this?
What?
FIFA put out a tweet, or no, FIFA was coming out and somebody made a joke on Twitter or something about this isn't going to be, or fuck was it?
No one's going to give a shit about FIFA because Cyberpunk's coming out?
Right, and then Cyberpunk was like FIFA 2021 or whatever it is, most anticipated game of the year. Like, we know it's us, but we like you too, FIFA. And now it's just like, that's shitty now.
Did not age well.
No.
A lot of their marketing did not age well.
Welcome to Night City.
So I got the game on PC. You got the game on PS4, which... If you had to do it again, you literally can't right now.
Right.
Because it's not on the fucking
not
store.
Available, which not often that happens.
I had some bugs.
Yeah.
I did, but nothing bad. I ran into no game-breaking bugs. The graphics were beautiful. I've got a fairly good computer.
The
I
only
was
thing I
running
would say to that
DLSS
is that the
on
game
it.
came out broken, regardless of the bugs.
Not to me. I enjoyed my experience of the game. I played it from start to finish. I took my time, and I had a lot of fun. I spent $60 on a game I almost never pre-order, and I did not feel let down or disappointed. I enjoyed the game from start to finish. You, however...
I generally don't mind bugs. Like, even in the cinematics where, like, hands are falling off or whatever.
Bugs I heard were...
Mine ran pretty well. I think it only crashed twice when I was playing it. I played it for about 15, probably 20 hours, maybe.
But you didn't like it for the game that it was.
Correct.
Not the game that was... You would have probably enjoyed the game that was promised. You didn't like the game that it was.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It just teleporting cops, fucking traffic, no sense at all. Repetitive missions, the fucking fiber wire.
Oh, the fiber wire.
That one, yeah.
What's that from? The original Blade Runner? No, Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny
Mnemonic.
Yeah. Did not work. Worth a shit. And I got nervous when they took out the wall running because I was excited about that. And then the reason they took it out was because the game doesn't work with it, which concerned me.
Well, I believe they specifically said the level design becomes too complicated.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Does it? In a fucking city like where they can tell you where you can go, which is not never billing, and that's fine. Like that's the other thing. I never went anywhere where I was like, yeah, there's some serious level design in here. There was never a point in the game where I was like, oh, I can see why this would have broken their design.
I guess on my side, it was always, even though I was super hyped, and I did read a lot, and I watched all their fucking marketing material and their Night City wires, whatever happened in my brain, it always had me convinced it's just going to be a better version of Deus Ex.
And I don't know that it was.
In my opinion,
For
it
me.
was, because you've got things like the teleporting cops and the traffic issues and stuff like that. And I'm like, I have that separated, good or bad, for if this is legitimate or not, I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, all that shit's GTA. I wasn't looking for GTA. I was looking for a more open-ended Deus Ex, and that's, in my opinion, what it gave me.
Yeah, which also should have clued me in, too, because I don't think that GTA is a great game. It's a fun sandbox, but as far as mechanics go, I really don't find it to be that inspiring.
None of them?
Not really.
Vice City, San Andreas, the original third?
No, like, again, it's an incredible achievement, and it's a fun sandbox, but I always have the same problem with GTA is I get halfway through it, and I'm
so
like, why am I still playing? I think
doesn't do it for you?
I mean, the story was good. The GTA 3, I enjoyed playing through the story because I was into The Sopranos and shit at the time, and that's basically what it was.
you tend to enjoy very skill-based games.
Yeah.
And GTA and a lot of games nowadays is straight up just hold your hand the whole way through.
Yeah.
You can't truly lose.
Yeah. And then again, like, it just starts to feel like a time sink at some point. Like, I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm just ramping cars off buildings because it's silly.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Or
that's
starting
my own
a mass murder.
Yeah, that's my own personal thing. And I should have realized that Cyberpunk was going to have those problems for me.
And even and that's the weird part though, is how we're now moving that towards Biomutant.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I got hyped. I enjoyed the product I got, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the product I got. But I did still feel like there was something missing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, still enjoyed the product I got, but it could have been more. It wasn't nearly even close to as good as The Witcher 3. And because of it, I'm like, well, fuck that. I am excited about Biomutant. I'm not looking up anything about it. And I had a good experience with Cyberpunk. You had a terrible experience, and you're like, I'm going to dive into all the hype.
It's very rare that this happens to me. It's happened to me a couple times throughout my gaming life where I see a thing and I get excited about it and I want to just figure what up, because I want to start planning what the fuck I'm going to do with it. And I start playing it in my head.
But that's how that goes horrly awry.
Yeah, no,
you're
that's
like,
fair.
hey, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And the game's like, you can go from point A to point B. Bring it back.
There was a Spider-Man game. I think it was the first one after the movie license.
Well, okay.
No, it was Spider-Man 2.
Which is the... okay,
think.
other than the newest Spider-Man that just came out for
Yeah,
PS4, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man the movie 2, the video game, whatever the fuck it was.
It's the one that they first got the actual web swinging
They
through
got
a city.
Treyarch did it, and it was incredible.
I remember screenshots to this day of like him upside down in the night city, which is basically, or in the city at night.
I played that
Which
game.
is basically that Miles Morales shot, because it's so good.
I played that game for 3 days straight while house sitting for a friend of Joy's.
Mm-hmm.
And I will always remember it because I'm halfway through the game. It's day 2, and the cat that's there at that house came walking up to me with a giant huntsman spider in its mouth.
Oh, cool.
Like, hey, I brought you this. And I was like,
I don't want it.
And then it started moving, and I was like, I'll kill everyone in this room.
Give
and
me
then
the
it includes the
gasoline
cat. I
and
like
Spider-Man.
cats. Burning this whole house down. No, it's a great game.
Yeah. Another one was Skyrim. Which
you and I had a lot of fun with Skyrim.
we did. And when I saw that you could dual wield, I just ate up every screenshot that I could possibly find. Mm-hmm. Those two stick out the most. I remember when Dragonheart, the movie, came out, I watched those trailers as many times. And as
Sean
often as
Connery
I could.
Dragonheart?
Yeah.
That movie's fucking
It was like
awesome.
a
There's a
dragon
good,
on a movie.
that's not a disappointment.
No.
That's a
it was great.
legitimately
I'm just
good
saying,
film.
those are like the three that I remember vividly. And like I got a little bit of it for Cyberpunk, but again, watching it drive.
You kept having doubts.
Yeah.
I had no doubts. You were like, I don't know, man. And I'm like, it's going to be the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's going to fix my marriage and pay my rent and save my child. It's going to be great.
In this discussion, too, because for me, looking back on it, there are two things they could have done that would have made it better for me. Had they just done like the first console early access game or whatever, fine with that.
Had they just not done the first consoles, had they just said, look, I know we were originally developing it for Xbox One and PS4. Fuck them. Buy a PS5 and an Xbox One ?
Yeah. And, we'll get there. That would have been fine with me. And then also, if they just would have cut the open world out and gave me a straight Cyberpunk 27 main story where everything is handcrafted,
I think they
I could have done that.
shoehorned into it because of the Witcher games.
Yeah,
I think
it's definitely
everyone
possible.
expected an open world. And to tell you the truth, I do like open world games. I don't think Cyberpunk benefited from the fact that it was open
funny
world.
bringing that up while we're talking about Biomutant.
Because Biomutant
is not that. It's not a single player straight.
It is very much.
Looks very open.
So that brings us to our kind of next thing with Biomutant. Like I said, we're both excited about Biomutant. I know much less than you do, but I still know some. Not oblivious to all of it. And my first thought when I saw the first video for it years ago, and this was, I think...
It was announced in 2017.
Yeah, and it was 2017 that I saw the first announcement for it. And my first thought was, kind of looks interesting. Kind of excited about it. I really like what they're doing with it.
The art style
was interesting and weird. But later on, when I started seeing gameplay, especially this year, my first thought was, well, that's just Breath of the Wild.
The first gameplay that I saw just looked like lame DMC.
Okay.
I remember because I saw the trailer of him running to the pool or whatever, and then the big wolf thing. I was like, that's fucking cool.
And by DMC, you mean...
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
And then I saw the hack and slash gameplay that they released early. And I was like, well, that's kind of boring. Nothing's really happening there.
The early combat that I saw, I was like, well, the world looks cool.
Yeah, which
I'll give it a pass.
Yeah, and I was intrigued by the art style in the world.
That's
the other thing that I want to bring up on that is seeing it now and looking at the time that THQ gave them to develop this game. And then looking at Cyberpunk, where the developers were like, get this out the door. That's another thing.
That's the hysterical part is a publisher is giving the developer time to put this out, whereas CD Projekt Red, they're their own fucking publisher.
Yeah.
They could have taken all the time they goddamn wanted. And I remember the first trailer that came out, it was a cinematic trailer that now has nothing to do with the game other than the fucking blade arms. Everything else doesn't even exist. And they had that song, I can't remember the song, but I do like it. Something about being a bullet. I don't remember.
Okay.
And the end of it was, when's the release date? When it's ready. Clearly fucking not, guys.
Yeah.
Clearly
Sounds
didn't
real
follow
good.
your own principle.
Sounds
and
real
then
good.
all the shit about crunch. But what amuses me about the fact that you're so excited about this game that I think really does have a lot of not only aesthetic parallels, but from the very basic amounts that I've seen, a lot of gameplay parallels to Breath of the Wild is that you didn't fucking like Breath of the Wild.
I didn't. And it just, it almost felt like 12-year-old me would have liked it, but I'm not 12 anymore.
Well, that's the weird part. I really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. I started playing it my first hour. I was like, okay. I have nostalgic feelings for Ocarina of Time.
And I was never a huge fan of Zelda either. The only
Neither was
Zelda
I.
game that I played before Breath of the Wild was Zelda 1.
You never played Ocarina of Time? Did you not have an N64?
Link to the Past.
What
No,
terrible-
I hated the fucking controller.
Terrible childhood did
Can't
you
even
have?
throw that across the room properly.
So you
It's
never played
three-pronged.
Mario
Put it on a
64?
stick
You
and be
never played
Aquaman with it.
You could. Full on tried
I
it.
played Mario 64 in Blockbuster, and I was like, oh, that's fun. You can pull on his nose. And then I think I got like,
That's just the start screen.
oh. No, I played it, I'm sure. Sure I have.
I like how you're like, no, that can't be what happened. So
I got Shadow Hunters or something?
it had Shadowhunter.
No. I'm trying to think what... Nightmare?
Nightmare Creatures.
There was a single-player game with Marilyn Manson's soundtrack where
Well,
I think... Anyway.
let's not bring up Marilyn Manson on this podcast.
Oh, I forgot that...
Because turns out the guy who
someone
built
was
his career
surprised,
around
yeah.
being a piece of shit is, turns out, a piece of shit.
Yep.
I thoroughly enjoyed Breath of the Wild. I played Ocarina of Time when I was younger. I'm very nostalgic, but it was the only Zelda game I actually ever played.
That was the one that was very, had the cel-shaded...
No, that's Wind Waker, I think.
Oh.
Ocarina of Time was N64 era. I want to say it's the first 3D Zelda.
And while we're talking about that, the other thing about this one that has the same, it's a Nintendo feeling for me, is they always feel very gimmicky. Like, I remember when the Wii was coming out and they had their Zelda game, and you had to, pull the Wii controller back or whatever to shoot the bow.
Skyward Sword.
I was like,
Never
that's...
played it, but it was fucking stupid. That
I was
was
like,
a stupid
It's
concept.
a fun idea. I like the idea. I'm very excited about
but it's never
PlayStation's new
executed
controller.
well.
Exactly.
You tell me a time when any motion controller,
Yeah.
was it PS2 or PS3 where it was like
Six
fucking-
axis, yeah. You could fly the dragon. Lair? I think it's called Lair.
Lair, yeah. That fucking dragon game, which was awful.
Yeah.
Every launch game,
Yeah.
ever.
Cyberpunk.
It's not a launch game.
It is for the PS5.
It's not. No, that's the fucking hysterical part. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's one of the first
running
games.
off of the backwards compatibility for PS4, even though, again, the PC version of the game is magnificent. It's beautiful. You saw it. It's great. Whatever. It's fine. Breath of the Wild.
Popped in correctly.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I didn't feel like it was gimmicky. It wasn't forcing me to do anything from the Switch or the controls or anything like that. It was expansive. It was beautiful. It was subtle with its story, which didn't get in the way. It was a truly open world game. Fuck off. It was amazing. And it was, how do I explain this? It was systematic in that.
Trying to describe to
No.
Just hold on, no. It's just to the listeners what you meant when you said "fuck off" and waved your hand like that.
Oh,
But
right.
I guess,
I guess if you're not watching this, which
sure.
again, why?
I mean, maybe they're
what
on
I
the
mean
go.
by fuck off is the game
Allowed
puts you
you to
out. You have a
literally go
small
and fuck
tutorial
off.
area,
Yeah.
and then like Skyrim or Oblivion or Morrowind before it tells you to get the fuck out of here and do what
Yeah.
you want. Which, by the way, any open world game in existence will never ever measure up to Morrowind for me. Just for the sheer fact that I walked out of the first town, a dude fell down with a scroll of Icarus jump.
Yeah.
I jumped to the other side of the map. You probably did the same thing, and you and I had completely different experiences.
I jumped
in
to
the game.
Vivek and managed to land right in the water.
I jumped to the Telvanni?
Oh, the wizards.
The wizards in the mushroom huts.
Did you know that in Biomutant you can basically have a wizard class?
And I'm super excited about that, and I know I did not know that.
Yeah.
So Breath of the Wild was when I say systematic, what I mean by that is they had built all of these systems, and I still truly believe that some of the things that are in there they never intended, and they've got all these really interesting puzzles. But you can break the game in some amazing ways that they never intended, but doesn't actually break the game. One of my favorites is metal will get struck by lightning in a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
So if you've got your metal sword equipped or it's on your back, lightning will spark around you and you'll die.
Yeah.
Out of a lark, I was panicking. There was a bunch of enemies in front of me. I had my metal sword because it was my best sword I had on me at the time. It started sparking. I was like, fuck. And I remember that you could throw your sword. So I chucked it at the group of enemies. Lightning struck it, killed all of them.
Yeah.
Never told you by the game, never recommended. They don't even tell you that lightning will strike the metal items.
Yeah.
You just find that out. That, to me, is amazing. But for you, was it the fact that it was too open? It was too loose?
Well, in the beginning when I was playing it, and it may just be that I didn't play it enough, it just felt super lonely after a while. That
is very much an aesthetic of the game.
Yeah.
It is lonely.
And that didn't really appeal to me. The other thing I didn't like was the weapon degradation. Degradation. Not with a G and D. That always annoys me. Hey, we gave you this cool thing. It's going to fall apart. It's like, why?
I normally hate it as well, but it led to some really interesting gameplay moments of having to go out and find those things. I don't know how to explain that.
I mean, it's an interesting way to like reward exploration because whatever thing you got isn't going to be the best thing for long because it's going to fall apart.
Get a new thing. Because while I always think, God, I hate the idea of the weapon being totally destroyed. Every other game I play, though, the moment I get the best sword, well, then that's just the sword.
Right, but I think that's also a mechanical issue.
Name me a game where there's not a best weapon.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as a design is the problem.
But I think
I don't think
you can escape that design because games at this point are still just based on numbers.
Yeah, and that's fair. I'm just saying, so Biomutant has this huge crafting system.
So today I did watch a preview video of it, and I've been avoiding almost all media on it. And one of the things they were like is, so we took a walking cane, and a pair of scissors, and a door from a safe, and combine them together in the crafting system and create the strong bunk.
Yeah.
And it's this weapon. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, the developers have said, we accidentally made a million different possible combinations of things to make weapons.
That's fucking rad.
That's great. The thing that I like about it, though, is each one does a thing, but each one is not the best thing to do. And you get a different visual.
Well, then you start moving into that rock, paper, scissors kind of system.
Sure.
Okay.
There's things in there that look like the mounts you can get are useful in different areas. But it's but I really like the robot horse. I don't want to have to get on a flying bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But whatever, that's fine. But I think as a system, if you stop saying this sword hits this hard and instead you say all swords hit this hard.
But they do different
this
shit
one
beyond
has
hitting that hard.
Reach, or this one looks this way.
Well, you and I
That's another thing that I hated about Cyberpunk. Every time I got to a point, I was like, you know what? That's an acceptable looking character. They're like, here, put these purple panties on because it's got 17 more armor than the flak jacket you're wearing.
Fashion is the end game of Cyberpunk 2077.
I guess. And you're in a world where you're designing your own character. You're trying to, you're making a thing that appeals to you to play out through this story. And that's cool. That's a cool idea. The problem that I have is then when you start breaking that idea and making me wear something that you wanted in a game where I designed a character.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't have been so prevalent had they not focused so hard on the level of design. Here's your dick size for no reason.
No,
for
even
no reason.
Yeah, there is. Conan did it first. Let's be fair. But even
Conan Exiles?
Yeah.
Fair point.
Even that doesn't bother me so much as, here, take the time, design this thing. We're going to put you a world with shops and different aesthetics and gangs that wear different things, and you just go build yourself a character. Okay, now that you've done that, I need you to take all that shit off, and I need you to dress up in a plastic rain jacket with a cop hat.
And a white fedora.
And
pink sneakers.
Parachute pants with pink sneakers. And it's why did you... It's almost like they randomly generate their loot. And
fair point.
It's like, why? But it's the same problem I have with the degraded sword. Cool, I got the thing that I wanted. Now
degraded sword.
I can't do it.
I like it.
That should be a sword in the game.
Do me a favor?
Yeah.
What's the name of the fourth Assassin's Creed game, Tyler?
No.
The one with the pirates.
Pirate.
Do it. We're not going to move forward until you do it.
Assassin's Pirate? Pirate Assassin. As Pirate. Damn, what is it?
I'm the one who edits this.
Black Flag.
Thank you. Sooner or later. Sooner or later. I'm going to check in with our producer real quick. How are we on time right now?
Got 5 minutes.
So we're at almost 30 minutes? Okay. So we're obviously going to keep talking about this.
Yeah.
But we're trying to keep these shorter episodes at around the 30-minute mark. So we'll release this at the same time, same day.
Yeah.
Episode or part 1 and part 2, I guess.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know how to fucking call this shit.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. But in any case,
we'll just continue and we'll see where we stop.
yeah, we're going to keep going on this. So check out the next video, which we'll link somewhere. Hold on. We'll link somewhere up here. Talk to the camera this time. Yeah. No, right here.
No, I pushed it.
Hold on, wait. I think right there.
Cool.
All right, bye.